Assalamu alaikum. When we think of war heroes, the names that come to mind are almost always men, fearless generals, mighty warriors, legendary swordsmen. Women are usually remembered as supporters behind the lines. But in early Islamic history, there was a woman who shattered that image and rode straight into the battlefield. She became one of Islam's most feared warriors, known as the Black Rider. Khawlah Bint Al Azwar. Behind a flowing veil, a pair of determined eyes flashed across the battlefield, moving like lightning as Roman soldiers fell one by one. Few could have imagined that the fearsome warrior charging through the Byzantine ranks was a woman, Khawlah Bint Al Azwar, later remembered as the Black Rider. This was no legend from fiction, nor a character born of myth. Khawlah Bint Al Azwar was a real heroine of early Islamic history, whose courage reshaped perceptions of women in warfare during the Muslim conquest of Greater Syria under the command of Khalid ibn al-Walid. Traditionally, women accompanied Muslim armies in supportive roles, tending the wounded, preparing food, guarding supplies, and managing logistics far from the front lines. Khawlah herself served as a medic and logistic supporter. Yet when the situation demanded more, she stepped beyond convention and into the heart of battle. The story unfolded during the conflict between the Muslim forces and the Byzantine Roman army in 634 CE, 13 AH, particularly around the events leading to the Battle of Ajnadayn. Khalid ibn al-Walid received intelligence that a large Roman force was advancing from Emesa toward Beit Lahia. In response, he dispatched 5,000 cavalry under the command of Dirar ibn Al Azwar, Khalid's brother, to intercept them. The clash proved fierce. Amid the chaos, Dirar was captured by the enemy. Khalid prepared reinforcements from Damascus but, constrained by time and circumstance, delayed movement until nightfall, while Muslim forces continued to resist despite being heavily outnumbered. When news of her brother's capture reached her, Khalid's resolve ignited. Refusing to remain behind while her brother and fellow Muslims suffered in captivity, she gathered a group of Muslim women and devised a daring plan. They disguised themselves in loose riding cloaks, armor, and Bedouin-style veils, concealing their identities to avoid drawing attention and to increase their chances of success. Mounted on horseback and armed with spears, and even tent poles when necessary, they rode directly into battle. This was not unfamiliar terrain for Khawlah. From a young age, she had trained alongside her brother in horsemanship, swordsmanship, and combat, while also studying poetry and literature. Her skill was as refined as her courage was fierce. As dawn broke on the second day of Ajnadayn, Khalid ibn al-Walid arrived with 4,000 reinforcements, charging into battle with blazing intensity. As he led the assault, his eyes caught sight of a lone rider dressed entirely in black, her face veiled in green, charging recklessly into the Roman front lines. She struck swiftly, piercing one flank, then racing to another, leaving fallen soldiers in her wake. Her movements were relentless, precise, and terrifying. Roman troops rushed to stop her, only to be cut down by her spear. Rafi ibn Umairah, watching in astonishment, remarked, "She attacks like Khalid, but she is clearly not Khalid." The battlefield soon turned. Khalid and his forces broke through, pushing the Romans into retreat. Yet Khalid remained intrigued by the mysterious warrior whose armor was now stained with blood. According to accounts recorded by Imam al-Waqidi, Khalid approached and called out, "By Allah, this is a mighty warrior. May Allah bless you for your courage in the path of Allah. Reveal your name and lift your veil." The rider continued fighting, silent and unwavering. When Khalid pressed again, she finally turned, lifted her veil, and said, "O Commander, I did not avoid you out of disregard, but out of respect for your leadership. I am a woman of noble lineage, driven by a heart burning with righteous anger. I am Khawlah Bint Al Azwar, sister of Dirar ibn Al Azwar, who has been taken captive. Moved by her bravery, Khalid immediately ordered Rafi ibn Umairah to accompany Khawlah in a rescue mission. Guided by intelligence that Dirar was being transported toward Emesa under the guard of 100 Roman soldiers, they pursued the convoy and successfully freed him as the Roman forces withdrew. Khablah's courage did not end there. On another occasion during the Battle of Sahura, she and several Muslim women, serving as medical and supply teams, were captured by Roman forces. Held under heavy guard for days, Khawlah inspired the women to resist. Using ropes, tent poles, and whatever tools they could find, she led a coordinated escape, overpowering their captors. Her belief was unwavering: to die as a martyr was better than living in humiliation under oppression. Because of her valor, Khawlah Bint Al Azwar earned the legendary title, the Black Rider. Some even likened her to the Sword of Allah among women, just as Khalid ibn al-Walid bore that title among men. While many women of her time remained in domestic roles, Khawlah chose a path of sacrifice, courage, and faith. Her story stands as timeless proof that strength, devotion, and heroism are not confined by gender, but are born from conviction and trust in Allah.